This is Katie Burley, and I'm doing my presentation on American depression. A study released last month by the Mental Health America ranked Utah as the state with the highest percentage of people reporting depression. On the same note, Utah was also ranked as one of the lowest in treatment of the illness. Depression affects millions of people in the United States. By becoming more aware with causes, signs, symptoms, and treatment, one can be more apt to prevent and, if necessary, treat depression. Today I will relay some statistics on how many people are affected and who is most likely to become depressed. I will also focus on prevention and treatment of the disease. Depression prevents a person from living a normal life. People afflicted with depression with the disease suffer severe and intense feelings of sadness. According to the National Institute of Health, more than 20 million Americans are affected by depression. The most common type of depression in the U.S. include chronic, bipolar, major, seasonal, and postpartum depressions. With depression affecting so many people, the factors that determine who will be struck with the disease are behavioral and environmental factors. Depression in large part is hereditary, and although it's hereditary and not everybody who has the gene will be affected by depression. There are also cases where there have been no family history at all, and others have been affected by it. This leads to environmental factors. People who are generally more pessimistic, who abuse drugs and alcohol, who have gone through a chronic illness or family members being injured, they're more apt to become depressed. And everyone is sad from time to time, and it's an emotion that everybody possesses. But it becomes a problem when it is persistent. And unfortunately, depression is hard to diagnose. Even if they are diagnosed with depression, it doesn't mean that they have it. And so when you become diagnosed with it, they also give you a lot of medications without counseling, which can be a major problem as well. There are several things to look out for, and pessimism, insomnia, lack of sleep, an increase in drugs and alcohol, and thoughts of suicide are the most common. And depression and alcohol and substance abuse usually seem to go hand in hand. And the reason why a lot of people use alcohol when they are depressed is because it increases levels of serotonin and dopamine, and that makes people more happy. But over time, when the serotonin and dopamine disperse, it actually makes the person more depressed, which leads them to drink more. And the most important and serious sign, though, that someone is depressed is thoughts of suicide, which, according to the National Health Institute, is the third leading cause of death every year in people from the ages of 10 to 24. And depression is a disorder. Depression is a disorder that runs in my family. Both sides of my family have the gene, and so it affects us a lot more than a lot of families do. Last summer, my cousin committed suicide because he was depressed. He was on a lot of medications for antidepressant, and he also used other medications such as marijuana and other drugs and alcohol. Looking back, there were a lot of factors that led to him killing himself, but he wasn't treated properly. And if you have the right treatment, you can prevent those types of things from happening. Once someone is correctly diagnosed with depression, the most common treatment includes a combination of medication and counseling. And according to WebMD, antidepressants are only effective in a third of the patients who use them. So, and consequently, most people only use antidepressants without combination of counseling with them. So, the use of what they're using to treat it is really doing nothing at all, and these side effects can be a lot more severe than the drug itself that is supposed to help people. The final treatment that I'm going to discuss is diet and exercise, which is often overlooked but is really the most beneficial. Diet and exercise for 30 minutes a day can greatly help the effects of depression. Studies show that norepinephrine released into the frontal cortex and the hippocampus when you exercise increased over the long term, exercise stimulates the growth of new blood cells and boosts the functions of the brain and heart by supplying more oxygen. So in doing that, you're getting a natural high when working out, which increases the serotonin and everything in your body, which can help you get over depression or prevent it and treat it without using drugs that are, can be hampering to you getting better. So by knowing what depression is, its causes, signs, and symptoms, one can better their own lifestyle. And I leave you with the quote from Bobby McFerrin from a very popular song: "In every life we have some trouble. When you worry, you make it double. Don't worry, be happy." That's it.